On this week's episode of Ranked and Reviewed, we are reviewing the Lego Batman movie. Now, you might be asking why we don't run the trailer before Ranked and Reviewed if you watched Ranked and Reviewed previously. And that is because we are sick of getting copyright struck, and we also know that viewers fall off after a little while, and we do not want your attention to be drawn away from our videos with the trailer playing beforehand. So if you want to see the trailer, go check out the trailer for the movie. As stated before, this week we're ranking and reviewing the Lego Batman movie, continuing our Batman Ranked and Reviewed series. This is our second last movie on the list. Now, before we continue with that, make sure you subscribe, you like, and you share. And also, leave a comment, because if you leave a comment, it makes you feel good, which makes us feel good. And that's the deal. Isn't it right, Alan?
It is right. It makes me feel as good as this coffee does because I'm tired.
I haven't got a coffee, but I have a mug that says World's Best Dad on it.
Hey.
I also have Amazing Dad, but it's got stuff in it. And I've also got an Amazing Dad little, what do you call them? Fucking poster. And with that, as I said, we are ranking the Lego Batman movie. We are on the second last episode of our Batman Ranked and Reviewed series, where we have ranked every Batman movie except for Batman 1966. Is it 66? Yeah?
I think so.
We didn't rank The Mask of Phantasm. And we haven't done Justice League and shit like that. So we have Batman versus Superman to go.
And we're 10 million animated movies.
Yeah, I'm not doing. Maybe we could do that eventually. That because I do like a lot of the animated Batman movies. So maybe in the future. But we have Halloween coming up, and I know that sounds weird because it's only June. July, and we all know Halloween isn't until October 31st. But there are that many Halloween movies that we have to start on July 20th, which gives us a week and some change. Now, with that, we're going to get into the overview of this movie before we get into our thoughts. Now, this is the Lego Batman movie. Came out 2017. It was classified PG, not PG-13, PG. So that's weird because I didn't know there was a difference in America. The runtime is 1 hour and 44 minutes. This gets a 7.3 out of 10 on IMDb. This stars Will Arnett as Batman, Michael Cera as Robin, Rosaria Dawson as Batgirl, Zach Galifianakis as the Joker, and Conan O'Brien as the Riddler, which I had no idea. And the list goes on. We'll probably bring up some more as we go. This was directed by Chris McKay, written by Seth Grahame-Smith, Chris McKenna, and Eric Summers. And the budget was $80 million. It grossed opening weekend in US and Canada $53 million. Grossed Canada, US and Canada, overall, $175 million. And worldwide, this movie made $312 million. So, with that, we are going to get into our thoughts of the movie. And as always, I'm going to get Alannis to take the table and give us his thoughts first. Alannis?
I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was pretty damn hilarious. As you said yourself, I think one of the shining factors of it is there's just a shitload of adult humor that's tactfully done that is just straight over kids' heads.
It is. It's so funny.
Yeah. It's Lego humor at its finest. And I think even in some moments, it borderlines on a tame Family Guy humor in the stupid aspect. I think
I love an example of that is my name's I'm called Richard, but the kids call me Dick. And he goes, yep, kids can be cruel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Kate, what else do you think about it?
Yeah, it's definitely, I got a lot more out of it than I expected. It's one of those movies that, like, I've always dug the Lego comedy. It's always been pretty good, but yeah, this one really, really, really ticks some boxes for me.
And you got to say, like, another thing. I just keep thinking of quotes and parts in this movie that I love because there's so many. I love how because guns are violent and they didn't want to make this super violent, that the guns all are noises that they make themselves. So it's like, that's always great. And yeah, I just love how the villains are made to be just as loved as just the heroes in this movie. Like, everyone did such a fantastic job. I don't know if you knew Channing Tatum did the voice of Superman. Jonah Hill does the voice of Green Lantern. But yeah, what were some other shining parts for you? What did you think about the plot? What did you think about the pace? What did you think about all that?
I think it was paced pretty well. Like, if anything, like, to kind of pick nits, I think maybe like the last 10, 15 minutes is the only point where I kind of went, eh. Well, I kind of was a bit overwatching it, but I think it was pretty long for the kind of movie it was. Like, an hour and 44 minutes, including credits. That's massive for a kids movie. Like, I don't know a lot of kids movies that go that long because kids have shitty attention spans.
They do. And the thing that's upsetting about this is the fact that we will not be getting a second one. I was really looking forward to it, and apparently one was slated. And yeah, it has now been, I think, cancelled by Warner Brothers, which is a shame because I think that this movie is absolutely fantastic. And for the example, I do want to get, because we don't play the trailers anymore, I thought I would give an example of what some of the humor is like in this movie. So with
that's actually something I noticed as well. Speaking of the voice actors, that I went, Zoe Kravitz was Catwoman.
Yeah.
This had to have been ages before she was cast for the Batman.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. Now, here is a clip I'm going to bring up. And if it gets tagged, guess what? We're going to have to take it out. But I'm hoping it doesn't. And that is the clip called
Grammarly?
Batman's Lonely Life. Now, this will give you guys an idea of the sort of humor that is fantastic in this movie.
Great to be Batman. I can only imagine he's going home right now to party the night away, surrounded by scores of friends and lady tennis players.
Hey, Peter. I'm home.
Welcome home, sir. Initializing Batcave operating system.
Hey, Peter.
What's up, Batman?
Put this bomb in the museum.
Certainly, sir.
Thank you.
No worries.
Anything exciting happened when I was gone?
You have 4 pieces of mail.
Great, what'd I get?
You have this week's penny saver, 2 bills, and a coupon for Bed Bath & Beyond. It expires in 2 weeks. But I've heard that some stores will honor them past the expiry date.
Copy that.
Also, Alfred is on the 17th floor, grouting tiles in the second bathroom of the 5th master bedroom. Do you want me to tell Alfred you're home?
No, that's cool, computer. Thanks for the update. I should probably have some dinner.
Alfred left your lobster thermidor in the fridge.
Oh, that's my favorite. I can't wait.
And I am going to cut it after this part here, which I just love so much.
Not 20 minutes. 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 20 minutes
So that's the humor of the movie, and it's pretty much like that the entire way through. Did you find that that's the sort of humor they nailed the whole way through?
Absolutely.
It's just great. It's got so many parts in it that are like sort of little like things as well. Like when he first takes on Dick Grayson, and then he's like takes him on the mission, and they go to Superman's hideout, and they've got to get that thing, and he's got to go like through that like really crazy like obstacle course, and he's like going flip, front flip, side flip, this way, and then afterwards he's like, now do it all backwards. And how good is it? How when he gets to Superman's place, they're having the 65th annual Justice League party or whatever, and Crypto the dog or whatever is on the fucking DJ thing. There's just so many good parts. He's like, "What? I'm gonna sneak away from the party," and then no one notices, and he's like, zoom, like. So, yeah, what did you think about the casting choices? Like when I heard that Zach Galifianakis was going to do Joker, and when I heard Will Arnett doing Batman, I was a little bit weirded out because I don't know if you've seen the Batman movies previous to this that are Lego based, but they're not like the movie based. So there's like the Lego DC Superheroes game. There's a movie based on the number 2, like DC Superheroes 2. And I used to watch it with my son when he was little and stuff. And the guy that did the voice of Batman was Troy Baker, who actually does the voice of Batman in the Arkham games, and also does a lot of the voices in The Last of Us and Uncharted and all this thing. So when I heard he wasn't doing it, I was a little bit disappointed because I like Troy Baker as Batman. And what's cool though is if you play, I don't know if you would have seen, I'm not sure if it's even in the movie, I can't remember for sure, but there are 2 Batmen. There's the Lego Batman from the movie and the Troy Baker Batman, and they're both meant to be separate entities, yeah? So in the game, Lego Dimensions, when you're playing normal DC and you got Batman, it's just Troy Baker. And then if you put the Lego movie Batman onto the pad, it's Will Arnett, and they have like back and forth with each other about who's the better Batman and things like that. So yeah, I want to hear what you thought about the casting of all these characters.
Yeah, I didn't know there was much to it until like kind of you were talking about it earlier. And it's like there's a pretty big cast for a lot of little bit roles as well. Like, one thing I did like is his name's already escaped me, but the guy that voices Two-Face is the dude who played Harvey Dent in the 1989 Batman movie.
I'm gonna look now what his name is.
I'll grab it up.
Riddler, Two-Face, Billy D.
Williams.
Yep. Well,
Yeah,
that's Kate Michuki is Clayface.
Yeah.
Eddie Izzard is Voldemort. Seth Green is King Kong.
It's such a weird. It's like you never would have picked that unless you read it. It's like
I'm gonna bring up the window of the cast because other characters that you see, other cast members will blow you away too. Have a look at this. Scarecrow was that Jason dude from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Then you've got like this Doug Benson dude as Bane. Ralph Finesse as Alfred Pennyworth. Ellie Kemper from The Office as Phyllis. Yeah, there's some crazy, like Conan O'Brien as the Riddler. I had no idea, you know. And you know what I love is when that dude's driving away from the building and he's like, I really like that guy. Hope nothing bad happens to him. And then the guy's like, nothing bad ever happens to me. And then something bad happens to him, like straight away. Like, it's this sort of humor, man. And like, yeah, when they're gonna go do the bomb under the thing and then kill a croc, like, I did something. Like they just make him stupid as. And what did you think of Michael Cera as Robin?
Yeah, it was an interesting Robin. Like when he first kind of came to it, I'm like, this is gonna irritate me, but it worked. Is really cool. It was it had that kind of kiddie. He was kind of like the kiddie moral kind of side of it, but yeah, when he first kind of entered it, I'm like, don't let this get obnoxious, but it was done really well. It was balanced with the rest of it. And they kind of played off each other well.
Did you like how Batman just shoots his merch at all the fucking orphans? The merch gun. And I love how he convinces Dick Grayson that Batman and Bruce Wayne are separate people.
Yeah.
So he has two dads.
Even the Joker as well. He's like, he's under the impression that Batman and Bruce Wayne are housemates as well. They're not actually the same.
Yeah. What does he say? He goes, so you live in Bruce Wayne's basement? And he goes, no, Bruce Wayne lives in Batman's attic.
Yeah.
And then I love the part when they crash the car, sort of. I stopped for the old lady, and then he puts his arm in front of me. He's like, just going to put my arm over you, take you, like, yeah. But yeah, like, I also love, like, Alfred's relationship with Batman, how he puts the child lock on the computer, you know what I mean? And Batman's childishness, where he calls the computer Pooter and stuff like that, you know?
The putting each other in timeout when they're falling off the plane, and that is just,
yeah,
it was great.
And that's another. I think the opening scene is just so great with the two.
It's one of the best opening scenes in any movie. I think it set the scene, and I fucking loved it. The second I saw that, I'm like, all right, this is going to be pretty good.
Well, see, I started collecting all the. I wonder if I have it here. If I can chance still. Let me have a look. I started collecting all the Lego Batman vehicles and stuff from the movie. Yeah. So, I don't think I still have it, but like, can't see it at the moment. But I have like exact models of like Lego models of like Riddler's car, how it looks in that, the Joker sort of purple, you know. I've got the Bane's orange like looking car. I have all the Scuttler, like the Batman Scuttler that he's got. I've got all these, like, I love all these bat suits. How funny is it when Robin's trying on all the suits, how they put on that one? And he's like, that one's cultural or like offensive or whatever. That one's a reggae man. Instead. It's a great movie. It's a great movie. I mean, what are you disappointed at the fact that we're probably not going to get a sequel to this, or what?
It is disappointing. And I don't know. I would prefer to have seen a sequel to this than a sequel to the actual Lego movie. Like, I don't think.
Yeah, me too, man. And I didn't think the Lego movie sequel was very good, to be honest, too.
Yeah.
I'm having a look now, Lego Batman 2, if there is. It says, we won't be getting a sequel, though, and it comes down to rights. Collider reports because Lego has left Warner Brothers and is now over at Universal. There probably won't be a Lego Batman sequel, unfortunately.
No.
So it's a bit of a shame because while the Lego movies are great, and I agree, I think the Lego movie first one was especially great. I didn't really think the second one was anything special, and would have much preferred a Lego Batman 2 movie.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, how would you compare this to, I mean, we're not going to get into our rankings just yet, but how would you compare this alongside other Batman movies?
I think it's different for the most part, but good. It's refreshing. So it's a parody of itself, and I like that.
Exactly. It's annoying because when this movie came out, okay, so my son was born 2013, yeah? This movie came out 2017, so he was 4, yeah? I took him to the movies to see this, and he wanted to leave within an hour, you know? He didn't really like it that much. He was kind of bored. It was the same thing when we went and saw Detective Pikachu. He's just too young for it. And yeah, I agree that this movie is quite lengthy for a kid's movie. Do you think that hinders it too much though, or what?
I think it made more room for the adults to watch it, but yeah, I don't know. I think as a kid, I probably would have had to have been an older kid to really appreciate it as well. I couldn't see myself as a young kid at holding my attention the whole time.
Yeah. Well, hold on, actually. I see. I have
Nice.
and if you have a look, it's cool, man, because my Lego Dimensions portal is actually the Bat computer, and that's all from the Lego Batman game, from the movie itself. So it's cool,
That's
man. They
awesome.
released a lot of cool Lego stuff alongside it. I almost feel like Lego has kind of suffered a little bit too, with leaving Warner Brothers. Like, we're not getting in. We got a couple of Lego Batman sets for the the new Batman movie, and they were trash sets. There was like a crappy Bat Cave. It was shit. And I don't know why you would even put like much support behind that new Batman movie with Lego, because how many kids were going to go see that and want to buy a Lego set of 3-hour-long Twilight Batman, you know? So, I mean, is there anything else that stood out to you? Was there anything you didn't like? Was there anything that you thought could have been done better?
I like the whole. One thing I really like is how it's like they make reference that it's like he's Batman the whole time. He's like 80 years old, and they go through the sequence of like every movie.
Yeah, I love that. There's Batman 1996, Batman 1992, and then that was that, and that weird one from the 60s and whatever. Yeah, that's a great line. And yeah, I love that how Joker's like, I'm your worst enemy, and he's like, no, you're not. He's like, what do you mean you're not my worst enemy? He's like, who else is your worst enemy? He's like, Bane. He's like, no, Bane's not your worst enemy. He's like, Superman. He's like, Superman's a good guy. You know what I mean? And then
I've been fighting around.
Yeah, I fight around. And then he's just like, you mean nothing to me. And then Joker's face, it's just like, sad. Yeah, man, there's just so much greatness to this movie. Like, what did you think about the inclusion of like all like Voldemort? There's like the Gremlins in it, I think.
Alex, and that was weird. I didn't expect that when they all started popping. I'm like, what?
And at the end, they had that big eye thing.
Sauron. Yeah.
So funny. God, that King Kong. Who else did they have in it?
Daleks. Bloody hell, there's a bit there.
I love how Batman's just that determined to send them all to the Phantom Zone.
Yeah. The question is as well, how the hell did they get there?
Yeah. Yeah, it calls him Bat Dad all the time. Yeah, so I'm reading it quickly now. Who else was in it? I'm just having a quick look because top cast. Like, because it was so we had Scarecrow, Poison Ivy, Sauron, Superman, Channing Tatum, Green Lantern, Jonah Hill, Adam Devine from Workaholics did The Flash. Mariah Carey did Man McCaskill.
What?
It's
such a big cast of this movie just for bit parts. It's crazy.
Chris Hardwick was a reporter in it. Yeah, no, it's weird too that Michael Cera was chosen to do the voice of Robin, considering before this movie he'd kind of fallen off. If you have a look at his history, so 2017, the Lego Batman movie. Before that, his biggest role was Sausage Party 2016. And then after the Lego Batman movie, I mean, he hasn't really been. He's been in TV series. He's apparently in the Barbie movie coming out.
Oh wow! We'll check that out when we review it.
Yeah, of course, man. And he was also obviously still in Arrested Development, as we all know, which is on and off. So with that, let's get into. I mean, okay. First, before we get into our trivia, I'm going to give this movie a 5 out of 5.
Yes, I'm right there as well. It consistently entertained me.
Definitely. Now, before we get into our ranking, we're going to get into the Loud Media ranked and reviewed official copyright trivia portion of the episode. Now, this is where we read some interesting trivia about the movie. You can find this trivia if you want to look it up. It's in IMDb. It's on. There's a lot of places to look up some cool stuff about it. So here we go. At around 8 minutes, Batman's line in the beginning action scene, "You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts," is a reference to Batman 1989, where Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne says the line to Jack Nicholson's Joker. Bane's voice and accent in this movie is based on Tom Hardy's portrayal of Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. The voice is done by Doug Benson, a stand-up comedian and podcaster who has done his comedic impression on Hardy's Bane since The Dark Knight Rises was released. The directors were a fan of Benson's podcast and hired him based on that fact. Batman's crazy laugh was voiced by director Chris McKay. It was originally a placeholder before Will Arnett's laugh was to be put in, but never ended up being changed. At around the 1 hour, 1 minute mark, one of the names Batman suggests for his new team is Fox Force 5. This was the title of Mia Wallace's Uma Thurman's failed television pilot in Pulp Fiction in 1994. Morgan Freeman, who appeared in the Dark Knight trilogy and the Lego movie, said that Batman in the latter is his favorite incarnation of the character. At around 1 hour and 9 minutes, Robin states that he knows Jim Carter, which is a reference to the movie Jim Carter, 1985, that starred Olympic gymnast Kurt Thomas. Robin even reenacts the infamous pommel horse fight from that film. The scenes with Jerry Maguire are a reference to the Joker quoting the movie in The Dark Knight with the line, "You complete me." Zach Galifianakis stated in an interview about voicing the Joker, "It was really fun. I've only done a couple of sessions. It's crazy. I'm lucky. I was telling diarrhea jokes in coffee houses 10 years ago, so I'm very fortunate." The Condiment King was also featured in Batman the Animated Series. What did you think about some of the more obscure villains, by the way?
Yeah, it's it was funny because I noticed a couple of like Kite Man and that are real villains, but they're so ridiculous, and it's highlighted in this.
What about the Dr. Eggman or whatever? And they're like, they do the bat signal, and it's the bat signal. She's been egged, and then you hear the bat guy go, the egg guy go, and just run off. Couple more we'll read. Batman's costume is based on the one worn by Michael Keaton in Batman 1989. The film includes appearances of not only Batman's rogue gallery of recognizable villains, but also many lesser known faces such as Orca, Dr. Phosphorus, and the mutant leader from Batman The Dark Knight Returns Part 1. Also were included with some of the more obscure and campy enemies Batman has included, like the Eraser, a pencil-themed villain, Polka Dot Man, Crazy Quilt, Kite Man, King Tut, a Pharaoh villain from Batman. And we will read one more. We'll read a cool one as the last one. We'll go. Various actors and actresses provided voices for villains but did not receive credit for their part. These include Ricky Lindholm as the Wicked Witch of the West, Laura Keitlinger as Orca, David Burrows as Mr. Freeze, Matt Villa as Killer Croc, and Lauren White as Medusa. One of these actors and actresses provided voices for other characters as well. And actually, this is director Chris McKee's first theatrical released film as a director, which he did really well.
Yeah.
And I think he's actually penning something more to do with Lego. I'm having a look. Wait, I'm having a look here. Okay, so the Lego Batman, there is a slot for it, the Lego Batman Movie 2. Okay, so basically there is like if you type in the Lego Batman Movie 2, it's there, but there's nothing there. So he's actually doing pre-production on the movie Nightwing. Which I didn't even know there was a Nightwing movie coming, did you?
I did not, no.
As you can see, Nightwing, director Chris McKay.
Yeah, well, there you go.
When's that meant to be coming out? Like what? It's obviously in Plot is unknown. I'm guessing it's in pre-pro. Should tell you if it's in pre-pro or not. Anyways, so with that, after getting into our trivia, let's get into the official ranking. Now,
Dun, dun, dun.
before we get into our ranking, remember, next week is our finale for this series, which is Batman vs. Superman, which you will get on Wednesday next week. When the week after we will follow with Halloween, obviously. So, out of our ranking, it's getting frisky. Now, with the ranking, I'm going to bring up the last known ranking, which is this. My ranking as before this movie was number 1, The Dark Knight. Number 2, Batman Begins. Number 3, Batman Forever. Number 4, Batman from 1989. Number 5, The Batman from 2022. Number 6, The Dark Knight Rises. Number 7, Batman Returns. Number 8, Batman and Robin. Alannis's was number 1, Batman Forever. Number 2, Batman Returns. Number 3, The Dark Knight. Number 4, Batman Begins. Number 5, Batman and Robin. Number 6, Batman 1989. Number 7, The Batman 2022. And number 8, The Dark Knight Rises. And with that, we are now going to bring up the updated list. And before we bring it up, I'm just letting everyone know that a slot of mine has changed. Let's see if you can notice it. Here it is. How are you feeling about that, Alan? Can you notice the change I made?
I have not pinpointed it. Ah.
I have now moved Batman Returns to last spot instead of Batman and Robin. I have lifted Batman and Robin up a notch. So, as of now, the ranking is, for me, number 1, The Dark Knight. Number 2, the Lego Batman movie. Number 3, Batman Begins. Number 4, Batman Forever. Number 5, Batman 1989. Number 6, The Batman. Number 7, The Dark Knight Rises. Number 8, Batman and Robin. And very lucky last is Batman Returns. Now, Alannis's is number 1, Batman Forever. Number 2, Batman Returns. Number 3, the Lego Batman movie. Number 4, The Dark Knight. Number 5, Batman Begins. Number 6, Batman and Robin. Number 7, Batman 1989. Number 8, The Batman 2022. And number 9, The Dark Knight Rises. Now, I don't know where Alan gets off placing the Lego Batman movie before The Dark Knight or let any of the movies that he's got up there before The Dark Knight. Really, I don't know where he gets off, but he gets off.
Yeah.
So what can you do? What can you do? That's his choice. And look, you just got to respect the guy.
Yeah, I'm nice.
Exactly. I'm a nice. That's something I was gonna think about. We should think about doing next as well. By the way, what would you think about doing? View Ask You in review. Kevin Smith movies.
Ah, yeah.
All the Kevin Smith movies reviewed.
That would be cool.
I think that's what we'll do in breaks between Halloween if we can, along with our other video game podcast movie ones we're doing. We've got a bunch we're going to do. And I'm thinking this is one we haven't talked about at all when we were looking at what we might do this year. Terminator. We didn't even think about it.
Ah. This is another fantastic idea.
So we've got video game movies being ranked slowly throughout the year and obviously keep that going until we've done them all, which there's quite a lot. We've nearly finished a Batman. We're nearly on to Halloween. We're going to do a Viewer Skew and review. We're going to do the Terminator movies. And we're even going to start doing like TV seasons next year and things like that if we keep going and this keeps going strong. How are you feeling about all of that, Alan?
I am Big Kev excited.
Big Kev excited.
No one's going to get that reference, I don't think. But
No, unless you're Australian. It's almost like the shot Billy Guyot.
yeah.
Or McEwen's.
Ah, yes.
Remember those ads with the lady with like the curly hair and the glasses? McEwen's, man!
Or Frank Walker.
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm Frank Walker from National Tiles. Franco Cozzo. Furniture is Franco Cozzo. Cozzo, Franco Cozzo's furniture. Whatever it is.
Once again for display.
Yeah. So, anyways, that has been our ranked and reviewed episode for the Lego Batman movie. We are officially on the home stretch. We've got Batman v Superman next week. Now, question for you, Alan. Are we doing theatrical cut or extended cut?
I'll say extended.
I'm going to go extended because I remember it being better.
Yes.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. I hope everyone has a good photo memory of where Alannis has ranked the greatest Batman movie of all time, number 4. We'll just remember that. And yeah, we hope you enjoyed this episode. As always, I've been your host, Tomye West. Joining me, as always, has been my co-host, Alannis Maximus. And please, if you haven't already, subscribe, like, and share. And also leave a comment. Because if you leave a comment, it makes you feel good, which makes us feel good. And that's the deal, isn't that right, Alan?
It is the deal, and it feels good.
And when the fuck does this episode end, Alan?
Now.
Now.